Sunshine, go away today. Don't feel much like dancing. Some guru just said to jack my price. I don't know what he's thinking. And if you're a creative entrepreneur, you're probably not the only person who feels this way. So let's find some pricing that works for you. Hello, I'm Lisa Robbin Young, and this is Creative Freedom, Empowerment for Creative Entrepreneurs, where can-do inspiration and how-to education collide to help you end the hustle and own your dreams without selling your soul. This was a weird, whirlwindy week for me. Part of it in California, and then hopping a red-eye to Washington, D.C. This coast-to-coast tour inspired today's conversation about pricing. Why can one company charge $6 for a cup of coffee with some whipped cream, but your local diner's lucky if they can get $2 for it? How can Wu-Tang Clan charge $2 million for a single copy of their album? What are they thinking charging those prices and getting them? If you've read Creative Freedom, then you know that I believe firmly that mindset is more important than mastery. And nowhere is mindset more important than in your pricing. You might be scoffing at paying those outrageous prices for anything. That was me once. But we operate in a capitalist society, and there are plenty of people willing to charge and get higher rates for just about everything. And if you're limping along, maybe it's time to pay attention to how they're doing it. Now, that doesn't mean you have to raise your rates to the stratosphere. But if you want to have profitability and sustainability, you have to learn how to work within the existing system so you can be around long enough to change it. Learn the rules so that you can break them. I never could have built the Creative Freedom Incubator without learning how to create something profitable and sustainable for myself first. Tough love and important clarity. The world won't just change just because you want to help people and you decide you're going to charge less. Nope. You'll be working harder and harder without the resources that you need to do your best work. Now, your time is precious. It's the only resource you can never replenish. When the day is done, that's it. The minutes don't roll over. So our talk about pricing today is less about the specific prices that you're going to put on your offers and more about the mindset that you need in order to see your pricing clearly and then stand by it when people question it. And if you think being heart-centered means you have to subsist on survival level income or pillage and plunder your clients in order to make a good living, you're wrong. There's room in the middle that's profitable and sustainable. When I became a coach, I charged $500 an hour for my sessions, and I encouraged my clients to see their time as worth $500 an hour as well. Why? Because if you don't believe your time is worth that, then you'll be pretty hard-pressed to ever earn that. Oh, but Lisa, I don't need to make $500 an hour. I can make $100 an hour and be quite happy. Oh, really? At $100 an hour, you need to put in 2 40-hour work weeks each month to make $100,000. That's 1,000 billable hours, though, which is just over 20 clients to see every single week. I've been a coach for over 10 years, never seen 20 clients a week. This also doesn't count any time you put into the business side of things. And you gotta pay taxes and maybe hire some help too. Your $100,000 quickly dwindles to about $40,000 in realized income. Maybe, probably less, especially if you wanna take a training course, hire a coach, or attend a workshop somewhere. So maybe you've just earned $25,000. Can you thrive on $25,000 a year? According to MIT's living wage calculator, the lowest living wage in the United States is in Mississippi at just under $42,000. So much for your $100 an hour. But at $500 an hour, you need about 17 client sessions a month to earn $100,000. That's about 4 regular weekly clients. And if you did manage to fill your calendar with 20 clients a month, you'd be making nearly $500,000 a year. And that's plenty of money to hire a team to support the growth of your business and give you the breathing room you need to focus on what really matters in your life and not just your business. Remember in our last episode where I talked about the differences between Walmart.com and Tiffany.com? Let's use that as our pricing spectrum. Walmart is a general goods retailer that competes in the marketplace by having the lowest prices. That's their brand promise. Tiffany, on the other hand, couldn't care less about being the lowest cost option. They are a luxury brand, and their brand promise is about the prestige of owning the brand. These companies have two distinctly different pricing mythologies. Now, when I say mythology, I mean the stories and legends that make up your company or your brand. As a creative entrepreneur, your pricing mythology is the story or stories around why you've priced your products the way you do. It's part of your marketing and the justification that your audience considers when they're making a buying decision. This is the primary reason a company like Starbucks can charge a premium price for coffee when you can pick up a comparable beverage at McDonald's for substantially less. The largest McDonald's frappe is still less than the smallest Starbucks Frappuccino. You've been programmed through marketing and pricing mythology about what you can expect when you shop at the Golden Arches and how the shopping experience is supposedly different from shopping at Starbucks. Remember, you train people how to treat you through what they've come to expect from you and what you've come to accept from them. So in theory, the service, quality, and overall experience at one of these establishments is significantly higher than the other, or at least that's what their marketing would lead you to believe. And because it's perceived to be higher quality, it's priced higher. But here's the thing. I pull up to a drive-thru, order a drink, make a payment, get my drink, and go. It's the exact same experience at both locations. Do some people grump about paying higher prices at Starbucks? Sure, and they're not one of Starbucks' raving fans. Remember, you're marketing to and for your raving fans, not for everyone with a pulse. Because everyone with a pulse will never come into your store. Well, some of them might come into your store once, but it's those repeat buyers who rave about you to their friends and family that keep you in business. Brainwashed? Maybe. And yet buyers want what they want until they're educated otherwise. A word of caution here. Marketing and pricing mythologies are rooted in perception, which isn't always reality. So if you can tell a compelling story about why you charge 2 to 10 times the going rate for your product or service, and you can collect that money, then get on down the road with your bad self. Now, I'll also caution you about price gouging, but we all know that if there's a market where you can name your own price, most people will set it as high as possible and then watch it come down over time. Apple is consistently priced higher than most other electronics manufacturers. There are plenty of computers that cost about half the price of a MacBook Pro and work just as fine. But there are hordes of raving Apple fans that would disagree. But if I can invest $1,500 in a new laptop instead of $3,000, then I'm gonna take a pass on Apple. When you look at your offers, look at the form and function. Consider who would get the best results or the most enjoyment out of what you offer. If you're an artist that travels to vineyards and paints landscapes and prints to sell in the vineyard gift shop, then your audience is wine lovers with enough money to not only afford to have a vineyard experience, but who also want to take a piece of that experience home with them. So your pricing will be different than an artist who sketches caricatures at the county fair once a year. In addition to your mythology then, is the audience to whom you are selling. Now remember, a $75,000 chandelier at Walmart might seem excessive, but at Tiffany, it's probably a clearance sale item. So it pays to research your audience because the more you know about them, the easier it is to speak their language and reach them in ways that inspire them to say yes to you. Now, just because you can charge $1,000 an hour doesn't mean you should. Maybe you should charge more or less. What works for your audience? Maybe you've hit your enoughness number and you decide to lower your rates to reach more people. Or maybe your audience expects to pay more, so you raise your rates. I've talked about John Frieda's shampoo pricing story in a previous episode. I tell my clients regularly that when you charge more, you can afford to be more generous. And it's a reminder that once they've met their enoughness number, once they've found pricing that supports them, then they can reach back and support others. Is that a little woo-woo or karmic? Perhaps. Still, I know that none of us got to where we are entirely on our own. Being self-made is a freaking myth. Did an episode on that too. We all needed the help of someone somewhere along the way, and the minute we forget that, we become part of the problem of our economic machine instead of the solution. Businesses exist not just to make a profit, but also to serve an audience. So never forget that. If your business doesn't serve an audience, you won't sell a damn thing and you won't be in business for very long. So where does the audience of your business fall on the pricing spectrum? Do you have multiple audiences? As a musician, I serve an audience that enjoys my particular style of music. As a business coach, I work with clients who are in the early struggle phase of building their business. I also work with clients in whitewater. Those two audiences have different needs and different income levels, so I charge differently, even if the services appear to be the same on paper. That's also why each client in my incubator has a custom contract with custom pricing. Remember last episode when I said that the what also includes your pricing? Different audiences have different needs. And to be able to meet them where they are, my pricing adjusts accordingly. Do you see now why pricing can be so confusing for creatives? It's not just about the amount of supplies and the time that go into your offer. Here's another consideration, one that I believe serves creative entrepreneurs much better. It's called return on resources, not just return on investment. So when I say resources, I mean everything that you're investing into an offering. Your time, energy, money, effort, attention, even opportunity costs, which is the potential cost of putting your resources into one thing instead of another. Take a look at everything that you're pouring into an offer. That will start to point you in a direction of more holistic pricing. Say you're investing 30 hours in creating something, plus another 30 hours to market and sell it. Now that's 60 hours of your life that can never get back. What's the price on that? The good news is that if you're creating repeatable systems, then all of that marketing time, that 30 hours that you've invested, can be spread out even further because you can replicate that system for your next creation. Once you have a marketing system that works, you just keep putting products into it to sell. And the more products that you can run through the machine, the farther that you can spread out that time investment, that marketing time cost. It's like research and development. And research and development can also be a cost. If you're learning something new that can then be applied to multiple projects over the years, it's not a hard cost of the offer, but it's still a cost consideration. In fact, many Apple fans point to their R&D work as a reason why Apple's prices are so much higher. And oh, did you see some pricing mythology creep in there? Yes, you did. Yeah, Apple's got to invest in R&D. But with a $63 billion profit, I think they're doing okay. So hard costs, pricing mythology, return on resources. Let's add one more piece to the puzzle here, okay? And that's IPA. Now, IPA actually stands for two different kinds of activities that as a creative entrepreneur are key to your livelihood. Number one, important personal activities like brushing your teeth. Number two, income producing activities like selling, okay? These are important personal activities that only you can do in order to derive the benefit. And likewise, there are some specific income producing activities that must be done and can only be done by you in order to derive the financial benefit for your company. So you need time to accomplish those activities, which means you'll probably need to charge more in order to free up that time in your calendar. So how does your pricing need to shift now? There's one last pricing tool I want to share that I use with my clients. It's the resonant pricing exercise from Mark Silver over at Heart of Business. Now, for heart-centered creatives, it helps bridge the gap between pricing too low and pricing so high that it hurts your heart. And there's a link to Mark's exercise in the show notes. Pricing tells a story. Pricing is also very personal. And my goal is to help you find the price that feels expansive, not oppressive to you or your clients. And frankly, that's going to differ from one person to the next. Ultimately, I want your raving fans singing like Jonathan Edwards. How much does it cost? I'll buy it. When you charge more, you can afford to be more generous. Again, that's not a license to extort your audience. You've still got to serve them and build those relationships so that they're eager to buy from you and proud to be one of your raving fans. Mindset is one of the big pieces we work on in A Club. Accountability Club is more than just an online social community. There's one-on-one coaching support and weekly accountability check-ins to help you stay on track with your goals and your dreams. And if you need help figuring that out, we got you covered there too. Our quarterly planning workshops and archive of training resources make us one of the best places to go to get your creative business profitable and sustainable fast. Faster than doing it by yourself, that's for sure. You can learn more about it at lisarobinyoung.com/A-club. So now it's to you. Examine the pricing of your current offers and then take a look at your business as a whole, considering where your business fits on the spectrum and where you want to be. What needs to change in your business in order to get you there? Make some decisions and then take action today if possible. Next time, I'm gonna walk you through the easiest way I've found to help you nail your niche. I hope you'll join me. And until then, for more inspiration and education to help you own your dreams without selling your soul, come see what's shaking over at lisarobinyoung.com. You know you want to. Good God, that was hard. The flux capacitor is flexing. I don't have much time left. That's so irritating. Stop.